Hello again and welcome back to some climbing news. Got some sends to talk about today, particularly boulders actually. We got more sends out of Rocklands, Stefano Ghisolfi sending 8C in Switzerland, Bosi's realm of Tor'ment V17/9A video, and more. So as always, taking a moment to do the YouTube thing, remind all of you to like, subscribe, comment, blah blah blah, you know the drill. Let's just start the stupid show. Alright man, so I'm still pretty hyped on Eva Hammelmueller's potential. This girl keeps adding and adding to her pyramid, but just like won't stop freaking putting stuff at the base of it. Like at some point you just gotta, build up. Like stop with the 8Cs and 8C pluses, girl. Don't you think you've done enough of them? Seriously. Now, as you can probably gather from what I just said, she just sent another 8C plus, this time in Briançon, and the climb called Folie Bergère, which as far as I can tell has only received a few ascents, 3 according to 8A.nu, but possibly more of them, I'm not really sure. Regardless, it seems she, as in Eva, and Jonathan Siegrist, who also climbed it back in 2023, believe this thing is 8C plus as opposed to the original 8C that was suggested by Hugo Parmentier and possibly others. I honestly wish I could find more info. I'm not even sure who did the first ascent, but yeah, I can't find anything. Either way, this makes for Eva's 10th ever 8C plus. She's got 32 8Cs and 4 9As under her belt already, so 34, 10, 4, 1. Yeah, it's 9A plus time. She's ready. She's going the distance. She's going for speed. She sent an 8C the next day, the super long Je suis vindicatif. So, again, I cannot stress this enough. It's time already. But hey man, I just gotta ask what you guys think. Am I right? Am I wrong? I think I'm right, and I've been known to be right from time to time, so, just wait. And now it's Rocklands time. Here we go. Niki Rusev, who sent Spray of Light last month as his first ever 8C/V15, now has flashed his first ever 8B/V13 boulder, which I genuinely need to understand something, because honestly, at this point, I'm just confused. How is this possible? How do you only have 10 8B/V13 boulders under your belt, have only ever climbed a single 8C, and yet you're somehow strong enough to flash 8B? Am I missing something here? I'm not saying this guy is somehow, in the wrong for any of what he's doing, but at the same time, I keep seeing more and more of these cases, as in more 8B boulders being flashed by people who on paper should have no business being able to flash them. So what is it then? Because it seems to me to be a case of comp kids going outside for the first time. Because look, if your whole training regime centers around doing something hard and nebulous as absolutely quickly as you possibly can, while it's still theoretically underneath your limit, then projecting, like really sitting down and trying the same boulder for a very, very, very long time, a boulder that is at your true physical limit, isn't necessarily a skill these people have developed. And projecting, like real, serious, multi-session projecting, is absolutely a skill. So it honestly begs the question, when all of these guys and gals go outside and are met with something truly hard, like hard for them at least, will they have the, I guess you could say, climbing attention span to really siege for multiple sessions, the way that Nale tried Burden for literal years before he managed to do it. And I know there's examples of the new generation doing this, like Nikolai Uznik and Mount Doom being a prime example. But still, it's interesting to wonder how the whole comps mentality thing needs to shift in order to really get down and dirty on a project. At the very least, it seems to me like most of the new age comp people, like most of them actually don't do the whole siege thing. Rather, they kind of do what Niki Rusev just did, which is they flash or very quickly send ridiculously hard stuff that's actually below their limit. I don't know, it's going to be cool to see. You have a lot of people who have learned how to optimize movement very, very, very quickly, and I say that as someone who definitely does not and has not, but it's just from the way that comps work. But at the same time, these people might not have much experience with the psychological aspect of trying something for a prolonged length of time. It's interesting. I don't know. I'd love to hear your opinions on that, honestly. But yeah, time to talk about a guy whose name I'll never know if I pronounce correctly. Okay, here goes. Piotr, Oleszczuk. Dear Lord, help me. I think I got that one right. If I didn't, I don't know. I don't know Polish. It's like all the farther east you go in Europe, the more you find vowels and Z's and random C's just sneak attacking for no reason. Anyway, Piotr has just gotten a repeat of Dave Graham's Petrichor. You get a nice shot of his ass right there. Good for him. Petrichor, as far as I know, has only ever been repeated 4 times. This 4th time being Piotr's, of course. If you don't know about that climb or haven't heard about it, it's one of Rockland's most elusive boulders. It was FA'd by the wizard himself only 5 years ago, actually, and it features some just absolutely wild toe hook, feet first, bang, beta thing that is very much on brand for Dave Graham. But yeah, man, couple of sessions, 5 to be exact, for Piotr to take Petrichor down. Apparently he was dealing with 5 split tips while bouldering at his limit, which is just absolutely nuts. If you've never split a tip, just take a razor blade, cut open a fingertip a little bit, and then try grabbing a sharp rock with it. It's one of the most painful things in climbing. Honestly, beyond like, I don't know, like actually breaking an ankle on a bad fall or something like that. I don't know. To climb through 5 of those is like, this kid is tough as nails, man. Good for him. But yeah, it's his 3rd ever 8C, his 2nd 8C of this trip that he's on in Rocklands. He sent G-Master earlier too, in case you're curious. So big congrats to Piotr Oleszczuk, who has 2 Z's in his last name for like no reason. All right, so just gonna throw out a quick YouTube recommendation here. Daniel Woods, the Dark Passenger FA, just came out on Mellow. Literally dropped as I was about to record this video, and I had to say something. Go watch it. It's very seriously the best Mellow video to come out in a very, very long time. And Daniel Woods' style, I think it's incredible that he can do the things that he does. And it's insane how controlled he is. Just like watching how ridiculously good he is at locking off and staticking the most heinous looking stuff gets me so psyched. More importantly, I just gotta touch on how admirable it is to see how open Daniel is about the fact that he gets scared on high balls. Honestly, like coming from someone who also and very frequently feels exactly the same as he does, it is awesome to see him pushing himself to get past his mental blocks. Like it really, really, really makes me want to work on that stuff too. So yeah, man, hats off to Daniel Woods for the honesty and openness, and even more praise for the fact that he very, very, very frequently overcomes it. Like that takes serious freaking courage. All right, moving on to Jules Marchaland, who's a freaking loser that can't even flash the only 8C/V15 that's ever been flashed, Foundation's Edge. Dude sucks at climbing, what can I say? Plus also he's French, so I mean, that just sucks. No one wants that for anyone. Yeah, I'm just messing around. This dude is very much one of the strongest people in the world right now, and actually he says he kind of missed the flash by very little and ended up having to come back to the boulder for a 2nd session. But I mean, what a 2nd session. Dude warmed up on Essai Transformé, which is an 8A/V11, then flashed Permanent Midnight, 8A+/V12, flashed off the system, another 8A, which he says was how he finished his warm-up. Dude, fuck off. Okay, I think I found the reason I was giving this guy so much crap earlier. He's warming up on stuff that's as hard as my current projects. I hate him. No, I hate him. He fell on the final jug on his flash of Compass North, which makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Karma. Sucks to suck. All right, I'm feeling a bit better. Jules is cool. It's fine. Compass North is AP+/V14, by the way. He sent 2nd go, but like, you know, why would you guys really care about that? It's just AP+, right? Wait, actually, hold on. Maybe I'm the one losing here, because reporting an AP+ send is like, no one cares anymore. Reporting an AP+ flash and things are a little bit more interesting. So, yeah, I'm gonna go back to hating this guy. No one likes you, Jules. Stop bouldering and go back to your stupid ropes. Jesus Christ, I'm hating on someone for no reason. He's done nothing wrong, like, at all. I really collect myself here. Yeah, so Foundation's Edge. Dude sent it first go of that same session. So all in all, 2 8As, 1 8A+, 1 AB+, and 1 8C, and a fuck you. Okay, so dude's gonna hang out in Switzerland for a bit. He says his comp season is over, which is honestly kind of a bummer. I actually do enjoy watching him do the whole comp thing. Jules says his goals are to try both Permanent Midnight Low and Fuck the System, which are both 8C+/V16 boulders, and which in theory would be his first ones, just like how Foundation's Edge was his first 8C. Did I mention that already? I don't know. He almost flashed his first 8C. Okay, I need to calm down. I should move on. There's a pleasantly surprised Italian man waiting in the next section. Plus also, I really actually do hope he manages to send all those boulders, not just for myself, but also for his own sake, because like, it's cool. Anyways, okay, so honestly, I just love Stefano Ghisolfi, dude. One of the world's strongest climbers, like consensus. He's probably easily top 10 strongest climbers to have ever lived. And yet every single time the guy manages to climb a hard boulder, he just can't believe it. Like, he's so surprised for some reason. Stefano, my man, the routes you're doing have cruxes that are just as hard or even harder than the hardest boulders you've done so far. And you're doing that while also adding like hard 8A and 8A plus boulders before and after them. Like, how are you this out of touch with how strong you are, my dude? Guys like, wow, I managed to somehow do Hazel Grace AP plus / V14. And I'm like, didn't this guy say he thought Excalibur was an 8B boulder into an 8C boulder? You can climb V13 into V15 with a minimal rest, and yet you're surprised yourself when you somehow manage to send a single V15? The math is just not mathing here at all. And it's just like a hilariously wholesome level of complete and total innocence. Like, does anybody remember that one vlog he did like 2 years ago where he placed flash or die at a climbing gym? This dude rolled up to a gym, said his goal was to do 4 boulders at each grade from V6 to V10, and for any boulder he didn't manage to flash, he had to do 5 pull-ups. And this is like his big challenge. He's fully expecting to have to do tons of pull-ups after this. But by the end of the video, he's only failed at 3 flashes because of a bad start, slipping off a hold that wasn't brushed, and a completely missed toe hook. And he actually has the audacity to be surprised. Like, what do you mean you don't expect to be able to do V10? It's V10, 7C plus. I'm pretty sure that's how he warms up normally. I don't know, man. Like, all this to say, he was at Gotthard Pass, and he sent Hazel Grace sit 8C / V15. Good for him. Dude's walking around with the naivety of a freaking puppy. It's hilarious. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Congratulations to Stefano. Proving to himself that he's good at climbing, I guess. I don't know. And then I'm gonna talk about Will Bosi. Last week, published the video of his send of Realm of Tor'ment 9A / V17. And okay, this one is probably gonna be extremely controversial. But it's a lame problem. I'm sorry. I know everyone's gonna be up in arms telling me like, oh, like, how could you call something this hard lame? But like, objectively speaking, honestly, if it weren't for the fact that the boulder is as hard as it is, no one would care about it. The name is amazing. I will give it that. Like, I'll give all the points for that. But otherwise, it's total chaos, and I mean that literally. Like, by definition, seriously, Will says in his video that the holds kept breaking on him every time he had his sequence down. You look at this thing and it's like, I mean, limestone is generally pretty ugly, at least in my opinion. And this thing, you know, it holds up to that description. I don't know. It's not the nicest looking thing ever. And it doesn't even top out. Maybe it's just the way Will reacts when he does it, but like, I don't know. It felt like the same thing as when I watched someone do a hard board climb. Actually, no, not even. Because I think board climbs are way more hyped now than a lot of us realize. It's more like, I don't know, it was kind of like the reaction I'd expect from someone who's super strong, who can do the hardest climbs in a gym, doing the hardest climbs in a gym. It didn't even seem like he was psyched about doing this thing at all. Honestly, he was, you know, as psyched as I am when I finish up buying groceries for the week. He was just kind of like, all right, cool, done. I don't know. I do think it's nice we didn't have to do the overdramatic swelling music and blah, blah, blah. Now they're throwing dice in the dark. You know, talks about a personal journey and meditating, God knows what else, freaking spirituality or whatever. But also, like, maybe this goes too far to the whatever side. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a middle ground here somewhere. Or maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm about to get crucified for thinking this is the worst 9A / V17 out there. I don't know. I just can't imagine people would actually take the time and money out of their day and pockets to travel to this thing to try it, unless they live like at least somewhat closer. I mean, Aiden might try it, but who knows? But then again, like, they are doing that with Terra Nova too, and that thing's equally ugly. So I don't know. Would love to know what you guys think, though, for sure. Am I wrong? Roast me if I am. Fuck it. But hey, that was some climbing news. Thanks as always for watching, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. I do want to say that I was just made aware of USA Climbing banning trans athletes from a climbing magazine article. I haven't had time to read the article or even really research the subject, so I wasn't super comfortable with the idea of making a super quick segment, like rushed, on this subject when I don't really know what exactly is going on yet. So I will update you guys with a full-length thing on Monday for sure. Hoping that's all right. But in the meantime, enjoy the weekend, and as always, go climb some stuff.